Have you ever thought about why some of the biggest and best cities in the world are so empty? There are cities with tall buildings, wide roads, and cutting-edge equipment, but no one lives there. What happened? Why are these modern architectural works of art empty? Let's find out what went wrong and figure out why these 10 places are so empty around the world. Could they be ghost towns from the future or lost utopias? Stay around to find out the strange reasons why no one lives here. The majority of the time, cities are busy centers of activity, culture, and opportunities. However, despite their enormous size, there are several huge urban regions all over the world that give the impression of being virtually completely empty. After being teeming with life and possibility in the past, these cities are now entirely deserted, which raises questions about why nobody lives there. Within the scope of this video, we shall investigate 10 noteworthy examples of such cities and investigate the factors that contribute to their lack of inhabitants. Number 10. Auroville, located in India. Auroville, a one-of-a-kind experimental township located in India, was conceived of as a city that would be a universal community in which people from all over the world could coexist peacefully. Nevertheless, in spite of the fact that it has an idealistic set of ideals, Auroville is confronted with difficulties concerning its infrastructure, economic viability, and social integration. The existence of these problems has resulted in a population that is significantly lower than what was first planned. Number 9. Masdar City, United Arab Emirates. Under the auspices of the United Arab Emirates, an ambitious project known as Masdar City was planned with the objective of developing into a cutting-edge eco-city. Despite the fact that it has a vision for the future and has received major investment, Masdar City has had a difficult time attracting residents and businesses. This is regardless of the fact that it has received enormous investment. There are a lot of reasons that can be attributed to the low occupancy rates of this region. Some of these reasons include the high cost of living, the reliance on expensive technology, and the problems that are involved with logistics. Number 8. Denton, Texas, United States of America. Denton, Texas, is an interesting narrative of a city that is practically completely empty as a result of poor management and oversights in urban design. This is said to be the case despite the fact that it is not as dramatic as other examples. Over the course of the 1980s and 1990s, the city went through a period of remarkable expansion. Despite this, the city had high vacancy rates and infrastructure that was not utilized to its full potential as a result of poor planning and economic downturns. Number 7. Romania Caliphate. A particular kind of emptiness may be seen in the Romanian city of Caliphate, which is a very small city because of its size. Being a part of a larger agricultural and industrial region in the past, the city has experienced a decline in its economy as a consequence of the collapse of local industry and increased migration patterns. This decline has occurred as a result of multiple factors. The population of Caliphate is fairly low as a result of the stagnation of the economy and the diminished opportunities that have followed from it. As a consequence of this, a substantial number of inhabitants have left the city in search of better prospects. Number 6. Ukrainian city of Pripyat. The settlement of Pripyat, which is situated in close proximity to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, is infamous for the speed with which it evacuated its residents following the catastrophic nuclear accident that took place in 1986. Radiation exposure led to the rapid abandonment of the city, which had been expanding for a number of years and had more than 40,000 residents at the time. A striking visual image of the aftermath of nuclear disasters is provided by the city of Pripyat, which is characterized by its deserted streets and buildings that had been abandoned. Even to this day, the city of Pripyat continues to be a terrifying reminder of the catastrophe that occurred long ago. Number 5. Svalbard, Norway's Pyramiden. A one-of-a-kind example is the mining town of Pyramiden, which is located in the Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, and its history stretches back to the time of the Soviet Union. It had been built in the 1930s, and by the time the Cold War began, it had become a prosperous industrial town. In spite of this, the town was deserted in the year 1998, which was the year that the Soviet Union was dissolved. Pyramiden is a ghost town that has been preserved as a historical artifact and is periodically visited by tourists and researchers who are attracted by the unusual silence that permeates the settlement. Today, Pyramiden is a ghost town. Number 4. Ciudad Real, located in Spain. Once upon a time, the city of Ciudad Real in Spain was an affluent and promising place to live. However, as a consequence of the economic crisis that took place in 2008, it experienced a considerable reduction in the number of people living there. The city's ambitious plans, which included the development of a new high-speed rail line and massive residential constructions, were not met by the demand for these projects, which was significantly lower than initially anticipated. A considerable number of people were urged to relocate as a result of the economic downturn, which, in conjunction with high unemployment rates, resulted in settlements that were barren of population. Number 3. Kangbashi, located in China. I would want to draw particular attention to the Kangbashi neighborhood, which is situated within the Ordos neighborhood. It is distinguished by its exceptional infrastructure, which includes majestic structures and expansive public places, and it was constructed with the purpose of becoming a contemporary urban hub. On the other hand, the neighborhood is still largely barren of residents. A mismatch exists between the high cost of living and the income levels of possible residents, which is one of the reasons why it is vacant. This disparity is one of the reasons why it is empty. One further issue is that there is an excessive amount of real estate available. Number 2. Chinese city of Ordos. The fascinating city of Ordos, which may be found in Inner Mongolia, is an excellent illustration of what is commonly referred to as a ghost city. At a time when China was experiencing a period of rapid urbanization, the city of Ordos was built with the purpose of providing accommodation for a large population and stimulating economic growth. On the other hand, the city was presented with a significant gap between the supply of goods and the increase in demand for them. As a result of economic slowdowns, bad planning, and excessive expenditure, the result was a large metropolitan region that was bereft of population. This was the result. At the present time, Ordos serves as an illustration of the challenges that are associated with the growth of metropolitan areas in economies that are still in the process of developing. Number 1. Myanmar's Naypyidaw State. With the distinction of being the capital city of Myanmar, Naypyidaw is one of the most well-known examples of a large city with a relatively low population. Naypyidaw is also one of the most populous cities in Myanmar. The year 2005 marked the beginning of its establishment with the objective of becoming a massive capital city that features wide streets, a significant number of government buildings, and residential zones. Even though it has some of the most beautiful buildings in the world, Naypyidaw is nonetheless a very deserted town. There are a variety of reasons that can be linked to its low population density. Some of these reasons include the city's lack of economic possibilities, its isolated location, and the covert nature of the government. Problems such as poor urban planning and economic downturns, as well as natural disasters and experimental urban development projects, are included in this category of problems. It is not only beneficial to obtain an understanding of the causes behind the emptiness of these communities, but it also gives vital lessons for future urban endeavors. This is because it provides useful insights into the faults of prior planning. Enjoy unraveling mysteries like these? Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss out on our latest discoveries. There's always more to explore, and you won't want to miss the next big reveal.